Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Michael and this is my colleague Omar.
Hi.
And as the name of the video suggests, in this tutorial we'll teach you what is the OSI model. If you're ready, please buckle your seatbelts and enjoy the video. The Open System Interconnection Model, or as it is often referred to, the OSI model, is a conceptual template that explains how networks operate or how data is being transferred throughout the web. The model consists of 7 different layers, starting with the 7th one and going down on a descending order to the first one. As you can follow the board, we've drawn those 7 boxes, and those will be the conceptual layers of the OSI model. So just for the sake of the example, let's imagine that we're sending an email to a different internet user. Once our email is written, it all starts in the application layer. The content of our email will transform to SMTP, which stands for Simple Mail Transfer Protocol. Or if we're using a file transfer, it will contain FTP, File Transfer Protocol, or in other case, if we're trying to access a different computer remotely, it will be a telnet. As we're done with the application layer, we're moving down to the 6th layer, being the presentation layer. At this layer, the main objective is to ensure that a different receiving computer will understand the content, and the presentation layer is all about encryption or decryption of the material. In most of the cases, the content is encrypted to ASCII characters, and that will move down to the 5th, being the session layer. The session layer is all about connecting devices. So in our case, if we're writing an email, in the 5th session layer, our computer will connect to the mail server, to the device which handles the mail servering. Moving down to the 4th layer, being the transport layer. At this step, we're adding the source and destination addresses in TCP, which is Transport Control Protocol, or UDP, which is User Diagram Protocol.
And I will take over from here to explain the last 3 layers.
Sure, the floor is yours.
So the 3rd layer is the network layer, and this layer directs where a message goes. So the packet, which is the PDU here, has information regarding the source of the sender and the destination of the receiver. And this is usually done through the IP protocol, and it can be split into 2 versions, either IP version 4 or IP version 6. So while on the transport layer we have the TCP address of the source and the receiver, in the 3rd layer, the network layer, it adds an IP address to the packet to be able to determine where to send it. And then the 2nd layer, we have the data link layer, which basically readies a message to be sent. Essentially, it ensures that the message is in the correct format, and it checks for any errors that could occur in the next layer. So the protocol used here in the data link layer is the Ethernet IEEE 802.3 and the IEEE 802.11n Wi-Fi protocols. These 2 are the most common protocols used in the data link layer. And finally, in the last layer is the physical layer. This is basically where the message gets transmitted. And the protocol here that we use depends on the protocol used in the data link. So if we use an Ethernet protocol in the data link layer, then we'll have the physical counterpart of that in the physical layer, which is could be an Ethernet 10 base T or 100 base T protocol.
So getting back to the OSI model, as we're transferring the data or sending a message, sending an email, whatever, we can see that our content is traveling through the OSI model and traveling through each of those 7 layers downwards. And so you could better understand it, let's just bring the real world example. Imagine I'm sending an email or a message to a friend of mine, Omar. So Omar will stand on the receiver side and I'll be the senders. Once I wrote the email and I press the send button, the so-called process of encapsulation begins. What is it all about? So here you can see the box with our email, and then we draw a circle around it, which will be the application layer. The circle is the same as the box presented over here. After we're done with the encryption of the application layer, we'll move forward to the presentation layer, going down to the session layer, moving to the transport layer, as so process of encapsulation continues. Going down to the network layer, then it's the data link layer, and last we'll move to the physical layer, which will complete the file transfer.
And then when I receive the email on my end, the message will go through the reverse of this process, and then it will start to decapsulate. So the message will start to unravel, removing the physical layer, then the data link, then the network, the transport, the session, the presentation, and the application, leaving me with the email on my screen. And so this was a brief explanation of the OSI model. And if you can't remember all the layers, because it is hard, there is a mnemonic that you can use to remember it. If you go from backwards, you can remember it as programmers do not throw sausage pizza away. And thanks for watching.
Thank you.